Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to Madam Suzana and my fellow group mates. Today we are going to present for the topics of challenges and role of stakeholders in managing construction projects towards sustainability. My name is Rabiatul Adawiyah binti Rohaidy. I will start with the introduction. Sustainability can be described as the quality of not being harmful to the environment or depleting natural resources and thereby supporting a long-term ecological balance. Sustainability is not just another social responsibility program, it is fundamental to the way projects are managed. The example for sustainability is using renewable and recyclable resources, reducing energy consumptions and waste, create a healthy, environmentally friendly environment, and protecting the natural environment. The application in the construction industry is through water efficiency, indoor environmental quality, durable and maintainable design, energy efficiency, eco-friendly materials use, and waste reduction.
Ishikawa diagram. An Ishikawa diagram is a diagram that shows the causes of an event and is often used in manufacturing and product development to outline the different steps in the process, demonstrate where quality control issues might arise, and determine which resources are required at specific times. In this report, we are using Ishikawa diagram for the project management to achieve the sustainability in development. Construction workers. Lack of training in a new technology, effect on motivation and productivity workers. For developer, increasing overall project, mode of funding of the project. For the contractor, higher cost for the construction materials, lack of environment management during construction process, poor communication during projects, lack of knowledge in sustainability, lack of competencies in construction managers. For the consultant, there are technical difficulties during the construction process, fear to handle clients' budget, and lack of experience. Impact towards developer, which are increasing in overall project and mode of funding of the project. In their market survey, it is identified that among construction practitioners, there is a belief that sustainable construction practices will raise the cost of construction projects without a quantifying benefit, which is, it is a perception that poses an important challenge. Another aspect related to economics, apart from the cost, is the construction time, which is considered as a critical performance criteria of construction project. Construction delays will often increase the cost of the project and affect the reputation of all stakeholders, since the sustainable construction requires the integration of green technologies with other building components. Therefore, dramatic delays will result if this is not considered throughout all project stages. Mode of funding of the project, which is finance-related factors. The factors loading on this component are budget constraint, which is fear of increase in cost, and mode of funding of the project. These factors are finance-related, hence the components are named the finance-related factors.
I'm Mohd Rafi bin Razak. I will explain the impact toward consultant, which is the first one, technical difficulty during the construction process, fear to handle client budget, and the lack of expertise and technology. Challenge faced by the consultant. The first one, technical difficulty during the construction process. One of the main challenges in green building is the technical difficulties experienced during the construction process. Design can be more complicated than that of a conventional building due to the evaluation of alternative materials and systems. Second, fear to handle client's budget. This assumption tends to create fear among construction clients, especially in educational sector where projects are financed through diverse government funding schemes. In a study of the sustainable construction in developing countries, posited that a major challenge is the fact that it is being perceived as a concept which would add cost to the project. It was discovered that the foremost challenge are assumption of additional costs to building projects and limited understanding of the benefit of sustainable construction. And the third one, lack of expertise and technology. Some of the green technology and materials are difficult to obtain in Malaysia. Sustainable requires another area of specification for architects and engineers. Most of the designers and architects are short of knowledge and experience in this area. Hence, the understanding of this concept is limited and takes longer time to learn and design sustainable projects. Employers are facing difficulties in finding qualified people to undertake certain jobs in the project. Sustainable technologies and practice keep changing and different from the previous skills. For the impact towards contractor, the first one, higher cost for construction materials. Second, lack of environment management during construction process. And the third one, poor communication during projects. Challenge faced by the contractor. First one, higher cost for green construction practice and materials. The higher costs are due to design complexity and the modeling costs needed to integrate green practice into projects. Higher costs are also associated with green materials and using green construction technologies. Some green materials cost significantly more than their conventional counterparts. Compressed with board costs about 10 times more than ordinary plywood. The higher cost of green construction directly affect the project manager because they are responsible for managing and delivering their projects within an allocated budget. The second impact, lack of environment management during construction process. The main areas of concern during the construction process were the appropriate site planning and organization assesses traffic movement, prevention or minimization of discharge, gases and airborne discharge to the atmosphere, chemical emission, noise and vibration, management of hazardous substance, waste management, and health and safety. The main contractor had no formal environmental management structure within its organization but had a large experience in health and safety management. The last impact is communication. Taking into consideration that a variety of stakeholders, every parties involved come with similar or different requirements for the project. They participate throughout the processes where it is clear that effective communication planning is essential in order to be sustainable. The ways to promote communication can be seen through the followings. The first one, reports are able to reach members in time. And the second one, to schedule times when members gather and communicate.
Next, the impact towards contractor is lack of competencies in construction managers. Positive shifting in the leadership qualities and the top management's competencies has a big impact on sustainable construction success. In order to achieve the benefits of sustainable projects, it does need the encouragement from high committed leadership. The leaders are crucial to have a deep understanding the barriers in sustainable construction. Construction firms need to finalize the leadership which is able to provide the strategy, direction and vision towards a sustainable future. Leadership has a significant role in encouraging sustainable construction. And the next impact towards contractor is lack of knowledge in sustainability. The objective of sustainable construction can be obtained if practices are informed by knowledge. This can be simplified through the example. This could help the firms to change their traditional construction culture. The first one is identify the objective and then study the suitable implementation. Next, create proper guidelines and then brief the workers when and how to implement. And next, highlight the benefits with all parties involved. And lastly, review the implementation. As mentioned before, in Ishikawa diagram, the challenges of stakeholders in managing sustainable construction, including the impact towards construction workers. And the first point is lack of training in new technology. Most of the stakeholders in the construction industry are facing the problems to implement this concept in their project. Education of the stakeholders about sustainable development is still at the low level. Deficiencies in training of sustainable technology make it difficult for those employees who are interested in this new technology to attain the necessary skills. Due to the sustainable and green technologies that being introduced is always something innovative. It causes the lack of understanding among the employees regarding the technical specifications and operation of the technologies. The second point is affect the motivation and productivity workers. The motivation of workers has been suggested as one of the major factors that can reflect the productivity in the construction industry. With the effective and optimal usage of this human resource, all the advantages will be supplied to the productivity growth within the construction project. The construction workers specifically in developing countries does not taken as an important element. The fact the project labor is generally the largest percentage of total project cost. Due to this high cost of labor, the laborers have a very important role in contributing to profitability in the industry. First one is the innovation for future implementation to overcome the challenges of material and cost. They have 2 points, which are lower or equal first cost, and second is lower cost of facilities maintenance and repair. We will look for the first point, lower or equal first cost. In a sustainable design project, the design team conduct a trade-off exercise. Trading off the cost of optional features against the cost of features that will result in energy, environmental, or social improvements. Focusing on integrated solution and explicitly evaluating trade-off can result in a sustainable facility built for the same or an even lower cost than a more traditional building. The following are some design and construction strategies that a team can use to reduce first cost. First point is optimize sites and orientation. One obvious strategy to reduce first cost is to apply appropriate seating and building orientation technique to capture solar radiation for lighting and other site features to reduce cooling load. The second one is reuse or renovate older buildings and use recycled material. Reuse building as well as using recycled material and furnishings, save virgin materials and reduce the energy required to produce new materials. Reusing buildings may also reduce time and therefore money associated with site planning and permitting. And then avoid structural over-design and construction waste. Optimal value engineering and advanced framing technique reduce material use without adversely affecting structural performance. Designing to minimize construction debris, example, using standard size or modular materials to avoid cutting piece and generating less construction waste. Also minimize labor cost for cutting materials and disposing of waste. And then, the last point, fully explore integrated design including energy system optimization. As discussed before, integrated design often allow heavy equipment to be downsized. Or using the lighting and operable windows for natural ventilation can reduce the need for artificial lighting features and mechanical cooling, lower first cost. Beyond energy-related system, integrated design can also reduce construction costs and shorten the schedule. For example, by involving the general contractor in early planning season, the design team may identify multiple ways to streamline the construction process. And the second point for material and cost is lower cost of facilities maintenance and repair. Sustainable design aims to increase durability and ease of maintenance. For example, the service areas within sustainable buildings should be designed with enough space to allow easy access to mechanical equipment. Easy access will reduce the cost of scheduled maintenance, repair, and eventual replacement. Other approach can also reduce annual maintenance costs using sustainable design. The first point is using durable, long-lasting sustainable material can decrease maintenance and repair costs. For instance, cement company have tested fly ash and slag concretes and found that if properly cured, they have greater strength and durability than concrete made from the Portland cement. The second is using fluorescent lamp reduce labor costs for maintenance. This lamp lasts about 10,000 hours as opposed to 1,000 hours for incandescent lamp. Therefore, about 10 lamp changes and the associated labor costs are avoided by using fluorescent lamps. And then, lastly is using sustainable landscaping techniques, typically decrease lawn mowing, fertilizer use, and irrigation, and has short payback period.
Innovation that can be implemented in sustainability, which is IBS, Industrial Building System. IBS is defined as a construction technique in which components are manufactured in a controlled environment on or outside, transported, positioned, and assembled into a structure with minimal additional site work. IBS traditionally has been known to minimize waste with the ability to reuse material from one module or product. IBS has the potential to support local communities by diversifying the economy and creating more local employment and opportunities.
The next one will be the working environment, which we will focus on motivation. This is Maslow's theory. According to this theory, in order to motivate a person, there is a need to understand what level of condition the person has in the hierarchy of needs, and to focus the attention on the satisfaction of the needs on that level or on the level above it. Motivation can be defined as providing the right conditions for people to work effectively. The project manager should show enthusiasm and commitment towards sustainability as well as creating an environment. Motivation towards sustainability is not a product of emotion but a product of sound planning and management. By improving the quality of site management and material management, on-time payment, systematic flow of work, supervision, work discipline, occupational education and training, with good amount of pay and working at similar activities will improve the motivation and improve and simultaneously will improve the productivity of the project. The next point for innovation is the communication skills. The main skills that need to be improved by all stakeholders within the construction industry is questioning, reflecting, explaining, negotiation, presentation, writing, meetings, and listening. Communication during a construction project mainly comprises speaking and listening, and less reading and writing. Communication is most effective when asking questions during a conversation. The reason for asking questions in project management is to allow time for an interaction with the audience on matters such as sustainability. Reflecting as a skill is closely associated with listening, responding to others in such a way as to convey interest, understanding, and engage in the conversation. Next one is explaining. Explaining and questioning are linked. In construction project management, the project manager has to communicate about sustainability in a way that is clear and comprehensible to the project team members in order for the team to understand the sustainable goals and allow them to ask questions. Next one is the presentation. Project team members are often requested to deliver presentations to these project stakeholders regarding the sustainability. Presentations are often used in conjunction with reports. The next one will be meetings. Project meetings are the construction project manager's principal forum to manage the project and communicate about sustainable matters with the team members and stakeholders. This is the important part of the project communication. Lastly, this listening. The heart of communication is not words, but understanding. Not only to be understood, but also to understand, which implies understanding sustainability. Active listening increases understanding. The skills is important skills. A project manager therefore needs the skill of listening to be able to accomplish a sustainable project. The next one will be the leadership. Construction managers play the main role of influencing and transforming the subordinates. These actions could improve the sustainability performance. The leaders with the inspirational leadership style have their way to manage projects, and subordinates could transform projects towards sustainability and higher productivity. The employers should encourage each one of the employees to share new ideas and provide support by setting up meetings, suggestion boxes, dedicated rooms, and offer trainings.
Next is recommendation. PDCA or Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle is a useful tool that can be help team solve problems much more efficiently. PDCA has some significant advantages. It stimulated continuous improvement of people and processes. It lets your team test possible solutions on a small scale and in a controlled environment. For this case, we like to recommend to use PDCA to overcome the challenges of stakeholders of managing sustainable construction. First, to plan. Meta-management approach to sustainability, environmental scanning, stakeholder mapping and stakeholder dialogue, setting organizational direction and planning implementation. The stakeholder management produces significant information about the stakeholders. The lack of awareness among employees, lack of willingness to participate, lack of knowledge and training on the system, and lack of ability to use the system were pointed as factors of failures during implementation towards sustainable construction. Thus, integrating these into the stakeholder engagement plan will make sure that these elements are being focused on while planning to engage the stakeholders. In commissioning this plan, some additional steps to consider include the steps that could be used to create awareness about the change, to bring everyone on a common ground to support and engage in the change. For example, communication. How? Improve the medium of communication in accessible tools. Leadership. Leaders must be on site in order to fully aware of the current situation. And motivation. Give the recognition to the potential employees. Do. Developing organizational structures and infrastructure for sustainability and execution of processes. The International Institute of Sustainable Development, which designs, savvy and runs the assessment, defines sustainable infrastructure as such as those which lower carbon, protect natural ecosystem, prove resilient to changing climates, optimize the use of natural ecosystem and their infrastructure services, move beyond compliance on core labor standards and human rights, trigger technological and industrial innovation. For example, in communication, they should use the right medium where all employees could access, such as formal group chat. Applied for smaller groups, for example, project managers to only site supervisors. In leadership, supervising the process on site closely and give detailed instruction to the site supervisor. Motivation, acknowledge the ideas and progress and process done by the workers. Check. Checking the result to study if anything went wrong. What to check? The assessment of sustainability initiative, the sustainability audit or evaluation. The application of sustainability assessments such as the risk assessment, life cycle assessment, benefit cost analysis, integrated assessment model, sustainability impact assessment, and environmental are described. These can be applied to the project. The stakeholders may focus on the major new rules, on complex and important emerging issues, or on making changes to relatively routine decision-making processes. For example, in communication, access the data received by the site supervisor and assure if they fully understand about the data that they receive. In leadership, analyze the improvement on site after the close supervision. And motivation, monitor the employees' productivity. In act, to adopt the change, run through the cycle again, which means sustainability reporting, communicating to stakeholders, and continuous improvement. Sustainability reporting is not just a report generation from collected data. Instead, it is a method to internalize and improve an organization's commitment to sustainable development in a way that can be demonstrated to both internal and external stakeholders. Which is, in communication, they should recommend the effective communication and advise if anything went wrong. Next is leadership. In leadership, they should apply the lessons learned and modify as necessary. And in motivation, standardize and stabilize what work or go through the process again.
As the concern for environment increase, the need for greater focus on sustainable practice become more urgent. This shows the awareness should be raised and knowledge needs to be delivered to contractors, developers, and the public on the long-term benefits of sustainable construction practice. This can be made possible with the government playing the main role. Through joint effort with educational institutions, research and development activities can be increased to enable local production of green building materials and technology at a lower cost and hence encourage contractors to adopt sustainable practice. Training programs can be organized to increase and deliver knowledge on sustainability to stakeholders for the construction industry through bodies like the IDB.